We all experience a heaviness in our hearts at some point in life. It feels like an invisible chain, stealing our freedom and weighing down our spirits. For instance, when we face unfair treatment at work, or when someone close to us acts selfishly to gain an advantage. Our hearts fill with deep anger, helplessness, and the intense question, why doesn't that person face any consequences? The stress of relationship conflicts or the anxiety of striving for a goal without seeing results can similarly suffocate us. While modern society appears to value effort and fairness, in reality, we often see manipulative people succeed while honest, hardworking people suffer. History shows examples of individuals who gained glory through massive injustice or violence, seemingly living out their lives without ever paying the price. These realities force us to confront the most fundamental question: does justice or karma truly exist in this world? If you are currently feeling heartbroken by the world's unfairness and tired from seemingly unrewarded efforts, the teachings of Buddhism I will share with you today hold the key to lightening your burden and finding a new light. The Buddha's wisdom offers us a chance to completely redefine our notions of consequences and justice. It shows us the path to liberation from suffering by focusing not on the external world of how others are punished, but on the peace and harmony we can build within ourselves. In an ancient Indian village on the banks of the Yamuna River, lived a young man named Vira. Vira was diligent and honest, yet the wealthy merchant who lived next door constantly grew his fortune through dishonest dealings, often cheating the villagers and even slyly taking control of a portion of Vira's field. Night after night, Vira was consumed by a fierce resentment and jealousy that his honesty was unrewarded, while the deceitful merchant lived in luxury. Why doesn't God punish that man? Why is my effort going unrewarded? His heart felt like a desolate landscape, covered in dry, parched anguish. One day, Vira met a sage who had stopped in the village during his journey. The sage wore a constant, gentle smile, and his eyes held a deep stillness. Vira poured out his uncontrollable suffering to the wise man. "O sage, I live honestly. Yet, those who commit evil flourish while I suffer. Is karma not real?" The sage looked at Vira calmly and replied with a profound voice, "Young man, I understand your suffering well. You perceive consequences as punishment delivered by an external party. However, the true karma taught by the Buddha is not an external judgment like that. It is the law of cause and effect that you yourself are generating in your mind right this very moment." The sage continued, "The merchant may appear to have gained material wealth, but deep within his heart, a poison anxiety, suspicion, and insatiable craving constantly resides. He is unable to find true peace for even a moment, due to the fear of eventually facing consequences. Young man, his mind is already imprisoned in the harshest jail, created by his own wicked actions. This is the inner consequence delivered by his own karma." Vira was struck by these words. He turned his attention inward. His own heart was constantly in a raging fire because of his hatred for the merchant and his anger over the unfair situation. He began to realize that this very suffering was the consequence he was experiencing right now. The sage then offered Vira 3 core lessons. Focus on the cause. Instead of judging the actions or results of others, concentrate solely on what wholesome causes you are creating with your own mind, speech, and body right now. Practice letting go. Release the anger towards the merchant and the strong attachment to the idea that things must be fair. That attachment is the sole cause of your suffering. Choose inner peace. Instead of waiting for someone else to receive their just desserts, choose the result of building your own peace of mind, starting this very instant. Vira returned to the village and began practicing the sage's teachings immediately. Although anger initially flared up every time he saw the merchant, he quickly reminded himself to let go. He recognized the anger as a poison that was only hurting himself. And with a deep breath, he consciously released the emotion. For several days, Vira devoted himself tirelessly to his farm work and generously helped the struggling villagers around him, as he stopped waiting for someone else's punishment and focused on creating wholesome actions the cause. A change began to occur within him. His expression became calm, and the tense anxiety he previously carried disappeared. This inner peace soon had a ripple effect on his surroundings. Seeing his stable and composed demeanor, the villagers trusted him more than ever and came to help with his farm work. Furthermore, by observing his fields carefully with a calm mind, he noticed improvements he had previously overlooked, which ultimately led to an increase in his crop yield. Meanwhile, the merchant continued his crooked dealings, but his greed eventually caused him to lose credibility with a large, distant trading company, and his business rapidly collapsed. When Vira witnessed the merchant's downfall, he felt none of the elation or vengeful satisfaction he would have felt before. He simply accepted it quietly. His actions brought about their own result. Vira's life improved not because external circumstances changed, but because his own heart changed. He had internalized that true karma is not a law used to judge others, but the self-accountability principle that what we create in our mind eventually returns to us as our experience. His peace of mind was no longer dependent on the actions or fate of anyone else. There are two main reasons why modern people struggle with the question, is karma real? The first is a strong expectation of an attachment to fairness. We intensely desire a clearly visible law of the world, where effort is rewarded and evil is punished. However, life often appears random and unjust. The gap between this ideal state and reality generates deep indignation and despair. The second is being preoccupied with judging others. We constantly wait for and observe the consequences that will befall those who wronged us. And this act drains the energy we need to be happy right here, right now. As our consciousness remains tied to others and past events, the key to resolving these struggles is a true understanding of karma, action as taught by Buddhism. The insight provided by Buddhism liberates our minds from the role of an external judge and guides us towards self-transformation. The teaching is essential because the law of karma is not divine retribution, as we often imagine, but a natural cosmic law where our actions, speech, and thoughts cause produce corresponding experiences, effect. The Buddha said, "The one who performs evil may not reap the consequences immediately, but that act plants an unwholesome seed in his mind. Eventually, that seed will sprout and return to him as suffering." Crucially, this consequence is not just a distant future event. From the very moment we intend to perform an unwholesome act, seeds of suffering like anxiety, self-loathing, and a sense of separation are planted in our minds. This is the immediate inner consequence. While ill-gotten gains may bring temporary pleasure, they are constantly accompanied by the fear of loss and the anxiety of being exposed, thereby robbing us of peace of mind. Conversely, performing a wholesome act immediately generates inner joys such as self-affirmation, peacefulness, and trusting relationships. This is the immediate inner consequence. The teaching of Buddhism urges us to focus not on the external unfairness that upsets us, but on continuously generating the highest wholesome causes, actions, speech, and thoughts within ourselves. This is the only path to building true security and unshakable happiness. The karma we expect to see externally is, in the end, realized most swiftly and precisely by our own state of mind. Inner consequences. Specific application and practice for the modern age. When we apply the Buddha's teachings to the challenges of modern society, we can shift our focus from the effort to control the external world to the effort to completely settle our internal world. Imagine a modern workplace where a colleague sabotages others for promotion or a boss steals credit for your work. Instead of waiting for their retribution, we apply the Buddhist 3 practices. 1. The practice of letting go, freedom from attachment. The root of our suffering is the strong attachment to the notion of justice. It must be fair, or that person deserves to be punished. This attachment is what fills our hearts with the poison of anger and jealousy. Specific method: when you feel anger or unfairness, immediately label the feeling. This is an emotion created by my attachment. Then, silently say to yourself, "I am letting go of this emotion," and consciously release the feeling with a deep breath. This is not about forgiving the other person's actions. It is an act of refusing to let their actions steal your peace of mind. By letting go, we liberate ourselves from being consumed by the fire of anger. Effect: you regain control over your mind, unswayed by the actions of others, which restores emotional stability. This allows for calm judgment and action, leading to constructive responses to workplace challenges and relationships. 2. The practice of creating wholesome causes. Karma, conscious action. Once liberated from worrying about others' consequences, we focus on consciously creating the highest wholesome causes in our daily lives. Specific methods. Thought: every morning, look in the mirror and practice an affirmation like, "Today, I will practice integrity, kindness, and serenity." When negative thoughts about others arise, practice immediately switching that thought to one of compassion. Speech: refrain from participating in gossip, criticism, or malicious talk. Instead, choose encouraging, appreciative, and positive words. Consciously express goodwill, such as offering a quiet word of support to a colleague who is struggling with unfair treatment. Action without expecting anything in return. Look for opportunities to help someone, even outside your direct scope of responsibility. For instance, quietly taking on an undesirable chore that no one else wants to do. Practice selfless acts. Affect wholesome actions inherently boost our self-esteem and self-reliance from within. We eliminate the need to wait for external judgment, realizing that our actions directly produce the result of peace of mind. This inner harmony becomes unshakable confidence, granting true strength independent of surrounding circumstances. 3. The practice of focusing on the here and now, meditation and mindfulness. Attachment to consequences directs our consciousness to the future, the past, and others. But the Buddhist teaching states that results can only come from the present cause-action thought. Specific methods. Meditation. Sit quietly for 5 minutes every day, focusing your awareness solely on your breath. Observe the emotions and thoughts that arise in your mind: anger, anxiety, expectation of others like mere bubbles, and release them without judgment. Mindful listening. When listening to someone speak, fully concentrate your awareness on the person's words and emotions, not on what you will say next. This fosters a genuine connection and improves the quality of your relationships. Gratitude habit. Every evening, write down 3 small good things you experienced that day: a delicious meal, a kind word, completing the day safely, and genuinely feel gratitude. This trains the mind to focus on what is abundant rather than what is lacking. Effect. By experiencing sufficiency in the present moment, we are liberated from past unfairness and excessive expectation of future consequences. We realize we have the power to control our state of mind, and we understand that inner peace is the greatest reward. This practice is the most specific and powerful guide for us to live a fulfilling life without being swayed by external injustice. Powerful summary and ending. My dear friends, please take this lesson deeply into your hearts. The hope we place in the word karma is our heartfelt yearning for justice and harmony in the world. Yet, the Buddhist teaching gently tells us to find the realization of that justice, not in an external force, but within ourselves. The true law of karma is not meant to punish anyone. It is a law that teaches the power of self-transformation. Your thoughts, words, and actions create your own future experience. Those who seem to flourish through dishonest actions are already suffering the consequences of anxiety deep within their hearts, and the anger and attachment to unfairness that you carry are already serving as the immediate consequence that steals your own peace of mind. Please, shift your consciousness completely, from judging the fate of others to tending your own inner garden. So wholesome causes action, speech, and thought. Practice letting go of attachment, and choose peace in this very moment. This is the greatest treasure we can obtain in this world, and the most certain consequence we will receive. The seeds of goodwill you sow today will surely blossom into the beautiful flower of unwavering happiness in your own future. Do not allow anyone to steal your peace of mind. I sincerely hope this teaching serves as a light to guide your life. If this story resonated with you and provided some insights or learning, I'd be delighted if you could press the like button. Also, if you subscribe to the channel, I'll be able to continue sharing various life wisdom and lessons with you. Please share your experiences and thoughts in the comments section as well. Each person's experience becomes valuable learning for other viewers. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end today. I look forward to meeting you all again in the next video.